You know what? It'd shake me up if he came in here and the first thing he said was, "You adulteresses." The Bible says that we are married to Christ. We are his bridegroom. And James says in that relationship, you have become adulteresses. That means that you're trying to love God and yet you're trying to have an affair with the world. You tell God to his face you love him, but then you tell the world and everything you do that you love it. You adulteresses, do you not know that friendship with the world is hostility toward God? Therefore, whoever wishes to be a friend of the world or chooses to be a friend of the world makes himself an enemy of God. An enemy of God. What a horrible title. You know, I would take that title and I would apply that to Madam Murray O'Hara. Or I'd use it to maybe talk about a Ted Turner who ridicules Christians. And Anton LaVey, Church of Satan pastor out in San Francisco, maybe he would have been called that. You know, James is calling that? Church members, people who call themselves Christians. He says, you're adulteresses. You are enemies of God. Because you're losing the battle within and your pleasures have risen to the top and they are calling the shots in your life. You know, how do you be an enemy of someone? You be friends with their enemies. God's enemy is the world. And we're cozying up to the world in many cases. And in so doing, we have aligned ourselves with the enemies of God. And so that makes us party to be an enemy of God as well. Friendship with the world is hostility to God. Therefore, whoever wishes to be a friend of the world, whoever has his pleasure at the expense of obeying God, makes himself an enemy of God. You have to make a choice, either God or the world. And in making one choice, it makes an automatic choice the other direction. When I stood at an altar in 1983, I said I do to Lynn Feldman, whose name changed immediately to Lynn McGraw. In saying I do to her, I said I don't to every other woman in the world. Because that is the nature of the commitment that was made that day. In saying I do to God and saying yes to God, you automatically say no to anything that is contrary to that relationship or commitment you have to God. It's an automatic choice. When you say yes to one, you say no to all others that would be an affront to that relationship.